Welcome, everyone, to our third episode of the Star Sportscast. I'm Joe Catullo. That's Andrew Grimm. How you doing, Andrew?
Good, Joe. How you doing?
How about those Buckeyes?
I knew that was coming.
Who are you wearing today?
James Ferrier, circa
Old.
mid to late 2000s.
Okay. Robbie Alomar. Browns already lost. I'm done. Go Indians. You didn't know who Roberto Alomar was. I mean, I know you're young, but you can't be that young.
I'm not really an Indians fan, so.
You just don't know who a Hall of Fame second baseman is. Let's go to high school football. Week 3 wrap-ups. We're going to start with Big Red defeated St. Joseph's from somewhere in Canada, 42-14. Big Red now 3-0. The latest polls just came out. Big Red, number 1 in Division 4 football. 15 first-place votes, including from yours truly. You think they deserve a first-place vote?
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, they're off to an impressive start. Davis had a couple pass touchdowns. Bernard had 61 yards and a touchdown on the ground. I covered them, what was that?
Week 2.
Week 2 in Morgantown. They were pretty impressive down there on the road away from home. I think they're definitely deserving of that number 1 spot.
Another 3-0 team, Weir Hyde, defeated John Marshall 29-26. Like I said, they're also 3-0. There are only 3-0 teams right now.
Yeah, that sounds like it was a very good football game. Come down to 3 points, and then there were two 3-0 teams.
All right. Catholic Central went on to Western Reserve, and Central lost their first game of the year to Western Reserve 43-33. We had no one out there. It just seems like the defense was not good. I think they gave up like 400 rushing yards. Western Reserve also rushed for 6 touchdowns, 3 from 2 different players. Just wasn't a good week for their defense.
Yeah, anytime there's a game with 76 combined points, it's not a defensive showdown.
I have nothing to say to that. Glen and Buckeye Local in a battle of 0-2 teams went to double overtime. Glen won 28-21. William Strait, 6 carries. 3 of them were for touchdowns. I was at the first quarter of that game. Buckeye Local, if I remember right, they were up 7-0 by the time I left. Glen looked like they had no firepower, but something changed after I left. Maybe I'm just a bad curse. I don't know. Buckeye Local also now, you put down 25-game losing streak. We don't have to mention that. Next game, Toronto defeated Edison 34-13. Toronto now 2-1 this year. Edison, another one of our 0-3 teams. I mean, sounds the same for Edison. Toronto, they're a team, if they get the big plays going. You were there for the first quarter. Were there any big plays you saw?
The big play I saw was a touchdown pass by Edison that was better than any pass that J.T. Barrett threw on Saturday night, actually.
Burn.
But, when I left, it was a close game. I think it was a 14-7 game in favor of Toronto at that time, but it sounds like Toronto pulled away in the second half after I took off and got to Indian Creek.
Well, 2 weeks ago, I saw Edison in the first quarter against Wellsville, and Edison was up 7-0, and then Wellsville came back. So, last couple of weeks, at least, it seems like Edison scores first, and then the other team adjusts, and they really don't score again. Next game, you were at this game for most of it. Alliance defeated Indian Creek 35-21. What was it I read in your article? Indian Creek was down like 20-7 at halftime. They took a 21-20 lead. Then Alliance got that momentum back and never looked back.
Yep, they were down 27 at halftime. They came out, scored a couple of touchdowns, one toward the end of the third quarter, one at the beginning of the fourth quarter to take the lead. And then a big play, big catch on the sideline on 4th and long to keep a drive going for Alliance was followed up by a 34-yard touchdown, a couple missed tackles, and then that gave Alliance the lead, and then Indian Creek snapped the ball over the punter's head, gave Alliance the ball on the 1-yard line. They punched it in, and that was pretty much all she wrote.
Actually, I said Big Red and Weir. They are only 3-0 teams, but I forgot we have another undefeated team. Madonna now 2-0. They defeated Bridgeport 28-12. Brooke, I was there for 5 minutes at the second quarter. Long drive from Oakland to Brooke. Brooke is now 0-2. They lost to University 34-15. When I was there, the only series I saw, Brooke recovered a fumble, scored on a passing touchdown. That's all I saw. Talking to Mac McLean the next day, it was a completely different second half. Harrison Central lost to Bel Air 38-7. It was 31-7 you put at halftime. I think we all picked Harrison Central to win that game too.
Yeah, it was not a good week for our picks last week.
And it wasn't a good pick for everybody, except for me. I'm the only one that picked Oklahoma to defeat those Buckeyes. They won 31-16. I'm proud of that.
I'm sure you are.
I'm not an Ohio State fan. West Virginia beat East Carolina by a lot. Alma mater of Mike McElwain. Steelers beat the Browns 21-18. A couple of us picked the Browns to win. I didn't think they actually would win. I just picked the Browns, so I can't pick the Steelers over them. It was a good game, though.
Yeah, you were 3 points away from looking very, very smart.
Fourth play of the game, block punt. I almost turned off the TV at that point.
Yeah, at that point, I thought it was going to be a blowout. Like, Steelers have a 7-0 lead. They haven't even had the football yet.
Oh, you sound like a true Steeler fan. Anyway, let's look at this week's schedule. Boardman. Alma mater Boardman Spartans come to Big Red. Both teams 3-0. Boardman ranked 7th with one first place vote. You're welcome, Boardman. I picked Boardman to win. I'm going to guess everyone else will pick Big Red for obvious reason, but I think Boardman has a shot.
It has potential to be a very good game, but I went Big Red.
I mean, I don't blame you. Next game, Catholic Central against South Harrison. 2.5-hour drive. We're both going with Catholic Central. Why not? Next, Brooke at Morgantown. We're both picking Morgantown. Brooke just off to a slow start. You mentioned earlier you saw Morgantown against Big Red. They look pretty good.
They
just faced Big Red.
They funked. They hung with Big Red for the first half of that game, and just ran. Big Red wore them down in the second half. But I think there's tools there. They can have some success.
Next game, Union Local at Harrison Central. I don't think we see too much in Union Local, so we both picked Harrison. Let's see if they can actually win this one and make us look smart this week. You will be going, Andrew. Buckeye Local at Indian Creek. Sorry, Buckeye. It was an obvious choice to pick Indian Creek. Yeah, but you never know.
I mean, Buckeye Local is showing improvement each and every week, but I just think Indian Creek is still way far ahead of where they're at.
Next game, we're going with Weir at Keyser. We don't know much about Keyser. Weir's 3-0. We're going to keep running it until they probably lose.
Safe bet.
Next game, Edison at Beaver Local. We are both picking Beaver Local. Beaver has a pretty solid team this year. And Mike McKenzie, former coach at Edison, still teaches at Edison. Whatever. Edison against Beaver Local. We both got Beaver Local. Next, Madonna at Bealsville. We both picked Madonna because we just don't know much about Bealsville. Final game might be the game of the week, or maybe the closest game of the week. Southern Local 2-1 against 2-1 Toronto. We don't cover Southern Local, but they're off to a pretty good start despite a setback last week.
Yeah, I went with Toronto because Toronto's at home.
Okay. That's it for the high school wrap-ups. Army at Ohio State. I wanted to pick Army, but they're not going to have a chance. After that, Oklahoma State at Pitt. We both pick Oklahoma State for obvious reasons. Delaware State at West Virginia. We both pick West Virginia. Charleston at West Liberty. As a Thursday night game, we both picked Charleston. The only game we did not pick the same, Browns at Ravens. You went with Ravens, I went with Browns.
And the Ravens were pretty impressive in week 1.
They were against the Bengals.
Well,
and you don't have 4 interceptions. He's on my fantasy team, too.
They're going against a rookie quarterback in Deshaun Kaiser.
So, what about our defense, man? Last game, Vikings at Steelers. We both picked the Steelers. I almost picked the Vikings. Vikings look pretty impressive, but a lot of teams will look impressive against the Saints' defense.
And it's at Heinz Field.
Yeah, so if they lost there before.
Well, yes, but...
See, I like throwing these oddball questions at you that some you're not going to expect because then try and get like a real honest answer, but you keep doing this. You look like one of these bobbleheads here or something. How long? Let's go to baseball for a second. How long will this Indian streak last? Granted, we shoot these on Tuesdays, so as of right now, 19-game winning streak. Come Thursday, it could be a 20-game winning streak, or it ends. How long do you think the streak can go?
I'd like to see them set the record and keep it going.
Well, the American League record's 20. The all-time record technically is 26 from the New York Giants, I believe it was. But they had a tie in between, so that really doesn't count.
Yeah, I wouldn't count one with a tie.
The American League record is 20 from the Moneyball Athletics, though.
I think they can definitely do that.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I think that's it. Well, I knew that. Thanks for tuning into the Star Sportscast. We will see you next week. Is my arm in the shot?
Yes.
How about this?
Yes. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Just get situated.
How about,
You need to go that way. What's with the smile? It's actually a little spooky.
19-game winning streak. You're going to do some crazy stuff.
The smile is a little off-putting, I would say. Off-putting. Are we ready? The Star Sportscast in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome, everyone, to Week 4 of the Star Sport.
It's week 3.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.